Hello and welcome to Around the ICC. I'm your host Matteo Bonetti, and on this week's show, we'll look back on all the best action from the top 5 European leagues. I'll give you my best Bundesliga 11 from the season, and we'll go in depth into the crazy title race in La Liga. Oh, and it's our 50th episode of Around the ICC, so we'll try to give it a more festive vibe, even though it's always a party here on Around the ICC. But let's start off with a whip around from all the action in Europe, and first on the agenda is the FA Cup final between Chelsea and Leicester City. Now, it was great to finally see fans in a stadium, and venues all around Europe are now starting to prepare for some capacity during the Euro 2020 competition taking place this summer. But anyway, on to the action of the FA Cup final, and Leicester were really led by a fantastic Kasper Schmeichel performance in between the sticks, and Yuri Tielemans, the Belgian midfielder, who scored an absolute screamer from distance in what was ultimately a 1-0 win for Brendan Rodgers' men, and the first ever FA Cup trophy in Leicester City's 137-year history. On the other end, a night to forget for Chelsea's Timo Werner once again, and they gave way to an organized Leicester side that is currently third place in the Premier League as well. So let's move on to action in England in the domestic league, and it's all about the race for top 4 in the Premier League. Liverpool got a huge 3 points against West Brom by way of, guess who? Alisson, obviously. He scored an insane header as a goalkeeper in the final seconds of the game to give his team all 3 points and put them within 1 point of 4th place Chelsea. It's always amazing to see a goalkeeper scoring. It doesn't happen that often, so when it does, kind of feels like a monumental occasion. Let's move on to Serie A, and it was all about Juve's match against Inter, which was unfortunately decided by the referees in what will go down as one of the worst officiated games in recent memories. 3 penalties, red cards, VAR. This game had everything, but so much was skewed by the poor decisions from the referee Calvarese, who has been heavily criticized as well by the Italian media. Anyway, on to the actual game. Juve played well, and they got the win, meaning that they still have a good chance to finish in the top 4, but they will have to hope for results in the other games going their way. Milan only picked up a draw today as well against Cagliari, a team that had nothing to play for. So, Milan and Napoli are on 76 points, Juve are on 75, and only 2 of those teams will join Inter and Atalanta in representing Serie A in the Champions League next season. Over to the Bundesliga, and it is all about Robert Lewandowski scoring 40 goals and matching Gerd Muller's single-season record from way back in 1971. Lewandowski's epic season has helped Bayern Munich win another domestic trophy. Apart from Bayern's usual success, Borussia Dortmund had a huge win as well, which gave them a top 4 spot, and it's really helped that in the last 2 months, Borussia Dortmund's won 6 straight league games, finishing strong to the season and going to the Champions League. The final title races in France, where Lille and Paris Saint-Germain are only separated by a measly point as we head into the final round of the Ligue season. Now, Lille made this harder on themselves as they drew 0-0 to Saint-Etienne, meaning that Paris still has a chance to leapfrog them next week when it counts in the final round. So much happened in La Liga that we needed to dedicate an entire segment to cover it. As always, the biggest topic has been all about the 3-horse race for the title, which is now a 2-horse race between the 2 Madrid teams because Barcelona lost to Celta 2-0, meaning that the Blaugrana are mathematically out of the title race. All the drama then was in Atletico Madrid's game, where Luis Suarez scored the winner, giving them the driver's seat for the trophy. Diego Simeone's men were down 1-0 in the 75th minute to Osasuna, but 2 goals in the final 10 minutes of the match by Renan Lodi and Luis Suarez mean that Atletico have a 2-point advantage over city rivals Real Madrid. So Real Madrid being able to pick up 3 points away from Athletic Club de Bilbao mean we have a crazy last day in Spain on our hands. So let's look forward to next week. Real Madrid face Villarreal, very tricky game. Villarreal in a European position, also in the Europa League final. And then for Atleti, it's 19th place Valladolid who are fighting for their lives on the final day of the season to avoid relegation to La Segunda, which is the Spanish second division. This is the perfect ending to one of the more competitive and exciting seasons that we've had on the pitch. Even with no fans, the drama at the top has not been missing. And having the top three sides in the league all going for the same objective for nearly the entire campaign has made for some great viewing that is impossible to predict. It's time for my Bundesliga 11 of the season. Let's start in goal. None other than Bayern Munich's Manuel Neuer, who's shattering records, all-time clean sheets in the Bundesliga, and always so good with his feet. Let's go to the back line, and I have RB Leipzig's Dayot Upamecano, who was so impressive in recent seasons that he was snapped up by Bayern Munich and will be joining them in the summer. Alongside him, 21-year-old Maxence Lacroix, not exactly a household name, but one that you should keep on your radar if you don't know him. He was part of the second best defense in Germany with Wolfsburg. My final defender isn't really a center back, but we'll put him here anyway. It's the lightning quick fullback Alphonso Davies, who tore up that left side for Bayern Munich. Let's move to the midfield. Borussia Dortmund's 21-year-old phenom Jadon Sancho takes up the right wing, with the versatile Bayern Munich midfielder Joshua Kimmich tucked in. Kimmich's teammate, unsurprisingly, Thomas Müller, also is in my lineup, as Müller has scored 11 goals and added an incredible 18 assists, a lot of them obviously for Robert Lewandowski. Out wide on the left is Borussia Dortmund's assist machine, Rafa Guerreiro, who has notched 10 this campaign and is an excellent crosser anytime he makes those overlapping runs. But let's move up top, and that's where it gets really fun. Erling Haaland is a once-in-a-generation star who has scored 25 goals in 26 games this season, but surprisingly, he hasn't even been the best striker in the league. That honor belongs to Robert Lewandowski, who with 40 goals this season has already tied the Bundesliga single-season scoring record. My final striker in the 11 is the prolific Portuguese youngster Andre Silva, who has exploded at Eintracht Frankfurt with a career-best 27-plus goals on the season. Finally, given the recent epicness in La Liga, we wanted to roll back the years and show you this match between Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid in the ICC at MetLife. The reason we picked these two sides for these flashbacks is because they're going to the final round of the season to see who will be crowned La Liga champions. And also, a big shout out to Atleti for their incredible competitiveness over the last decade under Diego Simeone. For a large part of that, they've gone to the Champions League finals, they've won a league, and they've really pushed Real Madrid and Barcelona as the bona fide third team legitimately fighting for silverware in Spain each and every season. Now, just a reminder, Portland Thorns FC, Houston Dash, Olympique Lyon, and FC Barcelona are all coming to the Women's International Champions Cup in the summer of 2021. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern right here on the ICC and WICC social handles for more information. Thanks as always for joining us on Around the ICC. I'm Matteo Bonetti. You can follow the ICC at INT Champions Cup on Twitter and at International Champions Cup on both Facebook and Instagram. If you want even more content from us, check out www.internationalchampionscup.com.